कबूल फरमाए कि जब तलक मुझको तेरी मातम की आदत है हुसैन, जब तलक मुझको तेरे मातम की आदत है हुसैन, तब तलक ये हाथ ये सीना सलामत है हुसैन। और अब खुदा जाने के क्या तय होगी कीमत खून की, ये खुदाई तो तेरे सजदों की कीमत है हुसैन। आवाज़ बुलंद तर सलावत। माशाअल्लाह किबला तशरीफ़ फरमा है। हम शुक्रगुजार हैं किबला से कि उन्होंने दावत को कबूल किया। मैं अदब और एहतराम से मुल्तमिस हूँ मौलाना सैयद मोहम्मद नकवी किबला साहब से कि वह ये रौनक फ़रोज़ मेंबर हूँ और आज की मजलिस से खिताब फरमाएँ। आपकी इस्तकबाल के लिए नाराए तकबीर, नाराए तकबीर, नाराए रिसालत या रसूल अल्लाह, नाराए रिसालत या रसूल अल्लाह, कुल्ले ईमान नाराए हैदरी, नाराए हैदरी, नाराए ताजील ज़हूर इमाम ज़मान बावाज़ बुलंद तर सलावत। खुशनुदी बीबी फातिमा तो ज़हरा बावाज़ बुलंद तर सलावत।
मोहम्मद वाले मोहम्मद
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين بارئ الخلائق أجمعين، والحمد لله الذي بعد فلا يرى وقرب فشهد النجوى تبارك وتعالى، والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين، حبيب قلوبنا وطبيب نفوسنا وشفيع ذنوبنا أبو القاسم محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين الذين أذهب الله عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا. اللهم صل على الدائمة الباقية على أعدائهم ومبغضيهم وغاصب حقوقهم ومنكر فضائلهم من أول يوم ظلمهم إلى لقاء يوم الدين. أما بعد، سلام عليكم جميعا ورحمة الله وبركاته.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Before I begin my presentation this afternoon, this evening, may I request us all to recite Surah Al-Fatiha and 3 times Surah Al-Ikhlas for the marhumeen for whom this majlis has been organized, and all our marhumeen. Al-Fatiha. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim. Maliki Yawmiddin. Iyaka na'budu wa iyaka nasta'in. Ihdina as-sirata al-mustaqim. صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. صلوا على محمد وآل محمد.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم.
I have recently gone through a challenge and am still recovering from my surgery, and therefore I will probably not be at my best, but the idea is for me to earn the thawab from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and also for the pleasure of Ahlul Bayt salamullahi alayhim ajma'een.
Inshallah.
And with the barakah of this member and you mu'mineen, inshallah ta'ala, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will assist me in making my presentation today.
Inshallah. MashaAllah.
I request you to remember me in your du'as, as I will remember you in mine, inshallah. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Wajil farajah.
If we look around the world, if we look around ourselves, if we see each and everything around us and we examine ourselves, we realize that there has not been a single moment where the favor of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has not been upon us.
Subhanallah.
There has never been an occasion or a single moment where the rahmah and the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has not been upon us. No matter which area you look at, no matter what angle you try to study yourself, you will realize that there has never been an occasion where the hand of God was not above me. I may not like something in my life. I may feel that this is an unfair thing that has happened to me. But when time passes and I look back, I say to myself, it could not have been any better than what it was. And I begin to realize that it was Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's hand that was looking after me. Many ni'mat, many favors of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala are upon us, and therefore it is incumbent and obligatory upon us to express, appreciate and express gratitude to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for His favors upon us. لَإِن شَكَرْتُمْ لَأَزِيدَنَّكُمْ. If you thank me, I will increase it for you. The more you thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the more His favors are attracted towards you. The more you say thank you to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for anything and everything, the more Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bestows His shower upon you and I. His blessings can never be calculated. You and I cannot calculate the blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala upon us. I want us to observe one or two verses of the Quran with regard to what I have said in my preamble. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Quran says, Allahu alladhi khalaqa as-samawati wal-ard. It is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who has created the heavens and the earth. وَأَنزَلَ مِنَ السَّمَاءِ مَاءً. And it is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who has brought down water from the heavens. فَأَخْرَجَ بِهِ مِنَ الثَّمَرَاتِ رِزْقًا لَكُمْ. And it is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who through that rain has brought fruits for you to enjoy as a rizq from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَسَخَّرَ لَكُمُ الْفُلْكَ لِتَجْرِيَ الْبَحْرَ بِأَمْرِهِ. And it is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who has made subservient to you the ship that sails in the ocean safely. وَسَخَّرَ لَكُمُ الْأَنْهَارِ. And it is Allah who has made subservient to you and for you the rivers from which you benefit. وَسَخَّرَ لَكُمُ الشَّمْسَ وَالْقَمَرِ. And it is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who has made subservient to you and in your service the sun and the moon. وَسَخَّرَ لَكُمُ اللَّيْلَ وَالنَّهَارِ. And it is for you that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made night and He has made the day. وَآتَاكُم مِّن كُلِّ مَا سَأَلْتُمُوهُ. And at your subconscious level, realize that He has given you everything that you need and everything that you have asked for. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala throws a punchline. وَإِن تَعُدُّوا نِعْمَةَ اللَّهِ لَا تُحْصُوهَا. If you were to compute and calculate the favors of Allah upon you, لَا تُحْصُوهَا, you will never be able to count the blessings of Allah.
Everything has been created for you. Each and every خَلَقْتُ الْأَشْيَاءَ لِأَجْلِكَ. Oh man, I have created everything for you. وَخَلَقْتُكَ لِأَجْلِي. But I have created you for me. I want you to be my servant. I want you to serve me. All is for you. خَلَقْتُ الْأَشْيَاءَ لِأَجْلِكَ وَخَلَقْتُكَ لِأَجْلِي. I have made everything for you, but I have made you for myself. And therefore Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us so many things that we can think of. The eye, which allows me to see. The ear, which allows me to be able to listen. The nose, for me to be able to enjoy different fragrances. For me to be able to differentiate between a good fragrance and an odor that is foul. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's blessings are on. The fact that I'm able to walk, the fact that I'm able to speak, the fact that I'm able to see you all is nothing but a blessing from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. How many times do I thank Him for this? How many times do I take a moment to reflect that this is a blessing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala upon me? And if I don't, then I must realize that I am not appreciative of the favors of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala upon me. The fact that I wake up in the morning exuberant and laughing, it is the blessing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The fact that I am earning a rizq from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it is a rizq that He gives me. It is all due to Allah. How I can give you with regard to this? The idea is for us to realize that the favors of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala must be appreciated, and expression of gratitude must be part of our everyday living. If we don't thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we are being selfish and we don't realize and appreciate what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has done for us. And therefore we must be grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Otherwise, you will realize that time passes us and we do not know what gratitude to Allah means. The question is, how do I thank Allah? This is the question that I want us to reflect upon. How do I thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? How do I express gratitude to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? The simplest way is what we do. Shukran lillah, shukran lillah, shukran lillah. Take a tasbih in your hand and just keep repeating shukran lillah, and you are saying thank you to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It is the lowest form of gratitude. One higher than that is a form in which I appreciate, without having to say shukran lillah, but every fiber of my existence is singing the thanks of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That is a higher level of gratitude. There comes a time when appreciation is so much, it becomes that you are nothing but appreciating everything. At that point, you don't need to be told to lose sajda. Your head automatically falls into sajda. That is a higher form of appreciation. Amongst many things that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given to us as favors, everything that He has given to us as favor, one of the greatest blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala upon us is the existence of our parents, who Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala calls as Rabb. Allah is Rabb Himself. There is no Rabb but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But Allah doesn't use this word Rabb for anyone, but He shares it with the parents. Subhanallah. رَبِّ ارْحَمْهُمَا كَمَا رَبَّيَانِي صَغِيرًا. Oh Allah, have mercy on them the way they have had mercy on me when I was a child. What a blessing of Allah this is on each and every one of us. Without a father and without a mother, we would not have existed. Our existence is due to them, and that is the blessing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on us. My subject is gratitude, and I want us to understand gratitude. I asked you, how do we thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for all the blessings? But when it comes to thanking the parents, how do I thank my parents? Is it possible to thank my parents? I want us to reflect on this point. Is it possible for me to say thank you adequately to my parents? Is it possible? Please think about it, and I will take you through it. Imam Zain al-Abidin salawatullahi wa salam. Imam alayhi salam, with regard to the mother, says, وَلَا تَقْدِرُ عَلَى شُكْرِهَا. This is Imam Zain al-Abidin. He says, oh man, it is impossible for you to thank your mother. وَلَا تَقْدِرُ عَلَى شُكْرِهَا إِلَّا بِعَوْنِ اللَّهِ وَتَوْفِيقِهِ. Except if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala assists you, or He gives you tawfiq to thank them. Otherwise it is impossible to thank your mother. How do you thank a person who has given her entire life for you? Let me share with you. Imam alayhi salam, and much of it you have heard before, I'm just mentioning 2 or 3 things here. Imam alayhi salatu wassalam says that she decided in her life, she made a conscious decision that she remains hungry so that you eat. How do you thank her for that? Imam says she made a conscious decision that she takes the heat of the scorching sun, but you should be in a shade. How do you thank her for this? Imam says she was happy in her life to lose her sleep as long as you slept. How can you thank her for this? Munawwar Rana is a poet who still lives today, one of the famous poets, Munawwar Rana. He says, ये ऐसा कर्ज है जो मैं अदा कर ही नहीं सकता. Munawwar Rana says, ये ऐसा कर्ज है जो मैं अदा कर ही नहीं सकता. Why? मैं जब तक घर न लौटूं मेरी माँ सजदे में रहती है. How do you thank her? Is it a possibility for me to thank my mother for what she has done for me in my life? He says, ये ऐसा कर्ज है जो मैं अदा कर ही नहीं सकता. मैं जब तक घर न लौटूं मेरी माँ सजदे में रहती है. How do I thank my mother for this service that she has provided for me? Or Munawwar Rana Sahab says, अभी जिंदा है माँ मेरी, मुझे कुछ भी नहीं होगा. He says, अभी जिंदा है माँ मेरी, मुझे कुछ भी नहीं होगा. मैं घर से जब निकलता हूँ दुआ भी साथ चलती है. Musa alayhi salam was called to Koh Tur. He arrives in Koh Tur. Allah informs him, Musa, while you were coming here, I took your mother away from this world. Your mother is no more. Musa cried. He cried so much. He fell down unconscious crying. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Musa, cry. It is her right that you cry over her. Because that woman who used to pray for you in the middle of the night is no more. Musa, be careful in your life. So this is what is being captured. Abhi zinda hai maa meri, mujhe kuch bhi nahi hoga. Nothing will happen to me because my mother is still alive. मैं घर से जब निकलता हूँ दुआ भी साथ चलती है. If your mother is alive, please look after her. Please serve her. Please take care of her. Because you don't know, the whispered prayers that she makes for you are the ones that are keeping you alive. Or let me share one more poem with you. इसलिए चल न सका कोई भी खंजर मुझ पर. इसलिए चल न सका कोई भी खंजर मुझ पर. मेरी शहरत पे मेरी माँ की दुआ रखी थी. Nobody could touch me as long as the dua of my mother was there. How do you thank her for this? How? Is there a way to thank my mother for this? Is it possible for me to say thank you to my mother and it would be enough? ये कामयाबियाँ इज्जत, ये कामयाबियाँ इज्जत, ये नाम तुमसे है. This success, this honor that I enjoy in the world is because of you. ए मेरी माँ मेरा सारा मकाम तुमसे. If it was not for you, I don't have none of this. I stand, my every fiber in my existence is because of you. कहाँ बिसाते जहाँ और मैं कम सीनो नादा, ये मेरी जीत का सब एहतमाम तुमसे है. It is because of you. Then he says, तुम्हारे दम से है मेरे लहू में खिलते गुलाब. It is because of you, Mom, that I am, that people are praising me. He says, तुम्हारे दम से है मेरे लहू में खिलते गुलाब, मेरे वजूद का सारा निजाम तुमसे है. It is because of you that I exist, O mother. जहाँ जहाँ है मेरी दुश्मनी, सबब मैं हूँ. Wherever there is a problem, I am the cause for it. जहाँ जहाँ है मेरी दुश्मनी, सबब मैं हूँ. जहाँ जहाँ है मेरा एहतराम तुमसे है. The fact that people are looking at me, O mother, it is because of your endeavors, of your sacrifices that you made for me. My question is still standing. How do you thank your mother for what she has done for you? How can you thank her? Imam alayhi salatu wasalam says, you cannot, under any circumstances, you cannot thank her except bi'awnillahi wa tawfiqi, except with the help of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and with his tawfiq. So the question that I have in my mind is exactly the same question. How can I thank my mother? Imam says I can't thank my mother. And therefore we have to ask the Imam only, if you say I can't thank my mother and I want to express my gratitude to my mother, you teach me how to do it. And Imam has taught you and I, but let me go to the father first. So our mothers, we have heard a lot, and I have recited so much about the mother from this very pulpit. My subject today is shukr. How do you express gratitude to your mother and your father as a blessing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? How do you thank Allah for the blessings of the parents? What shall we do? What does the father not do for you in this life? And I will be very quick, inshallah ta'ala, and end my lecture shortly. But what does the father not do for you in your life? You know, when I was young, one of the scholars on the pulpit gave a beautiful story, and us as children loved and enjoyed that particular story. There was an old man. He had now become very old. He was now sitting in the garden and enjoying the breeze of the garden. And his young son was sitting next to him, and they were both looking at the garden. Suddenly, a bird came and sat on one of the branches. How many favors of Allah? The father says to the son, Beta, there is a bird. The son says, yes, Dad, I saw it. A few seconds or minutes later, the father says, Beta, look at that bird. The son says, yes, Baba, I have seen the bird. Again, after a few minutes, the father says, Beta, look at that bird. The son says, yes, father, I have seen. Now the frustration is growing in the son. As the father is repeating himself, the frustration is growing in the son. Again, the father says, Beta, look at that beautiful bird. The son says, Dad, I am fed up. I have told you I have seen it. How many times do you want me to say I have seen it? I have seen the bird. The father looks at him. The son raises his voice. He feels a little offended and restless. The father stands up and walks away. The son says, Dad, where are you going? He says, I'll be here shortly. He goes into his chambers. He opens the cupboard. He brings a small notebook in his hand. He he comes back on the bench of the garden and tells his son, sit down, open page number so and so, and please read what it says. The son reads what it says. In there, the father says, read it loudly. The son says, my child, he's reading now from that note. My child, today you are 3 years old. You are sitting in the garden with me. You asked me 21 times about the bird. I responded 21 times. This is when you were 6 years old. You told me so many times about the bird. I responded so many times. This is when you were so much, and you said it so many times, and I was happy to answer your question. Son, I have asked you once or twice or thrice, and you show your frustration to me. What is it that your father has not done for you? How do you thank your father in your life? How do you do it? You know, there's a poet in Urdu who has written a beautiful poem. Maybe you have heard it. I have written it down because I enjoyed this poem. He says, Aziz tar mujhe rakhta hai wo rage jaan se. My father, Aziz tar mujhe rakhta hai wo rage jaan se. ये बात सच है, मेरा बाप कम नहीं माँ से. My father is no less than my mother. How do you thank your father? How do you thank him? It is a blessing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. वो माँ के कहने पे कुछ रौब मुझ पे रखता है. It is because mom tells him to be strict with me. That is why he expresses strictness when he stands before me. वो माँ के कहने पे कुछ रौब मुझ पे रखता है. यही वजह है मुझे चूमते झिझकता है. Normally a father is reluctant, is not very quick in kissing and expressing endearment to his child. But the poet in his expression says it is because the mother has told the father to be strict with the child. So he says, वो माँ के कहने पे कुछ रौब मुझ पे रखता है, यही वजह है मुझे चूमते झिझकता है. वो आशिना मेरे हर कर्ब से रहे हरदम, वो खुल के रोता नहीं, वो खुल के रोता नहीं, वो खुल के रो नहीं पाता मगर सिसकता है. He doesn't cry openly, but within him he expresses to himself what he is going through in his life. जुए है उसकी हर एक हाँ फकत मेरी हाँ से. He wants to say yes to everything. My father wants to say everything, and he wants to say yes to everything. जुड़ी है उसकी हर एक हाँ फकत मेरी हाँ से. ये बात सच है, मेरा बाप कम नहीं माँ से. हर एक दर्द वो चुपचाप खुद पे सहता है. तमाम उम्र वो अपनों से हट के रहता है. वो हर एक दर्द को वो चुपचाप चुप के सहता है. तमाम उम्र वो अपनों के साथ रहता है. वो लौटता है कहीं रात देर को दिन भर. वजूद उसका पसीने में ढल के रहता है. वजूद उसका पसीने में ढल के रहता है. गिला है फिर भी मुझे ऐसे चाक दामा से. I still have a problem with my father who has given everything to me in my life. गिला है फिर भी मुझे ऐसे चाक दामा से. ये बात सच है, मेरा बाप कम नहीं माँ से. पुराना सूट पहनता है, कम वो खाता है. पुराना सूट पहनता है, कम वो खाता है, मगर खिलौने मेरे सब खरीद लाता है. This is a father. How do I thank him? What has he not done for me? And if whatever he has done for me, how will I be able to express gratitude to him, let alone be disrespectful to my father? How can I even thank him? Quran says, when they become old, فَلَا تَقُلْ لَهُمَا أُفٍّ. Do not utter a word like uff to them, let alone be disrespectful to them. So he says, पुराना सूट पहनता है, कम वो खाता है, मगर खिलौने मेरे सब खरीद लाता है. वो मुझको सोते हुए देखता है जी भरकर, न जाने सोच के वो क्या क्या मुस्कुराता है. मेरे बगैर हैं सब ख्वाब उसके वीरां से. ये बात सच है, मेरा बाप कम नहीं माँ से. How do I thank my father? How do I thank my mother for what she has done for me? Imam Zain al-Abidin salawatullahi wa salamu alayhi, he's telling us that for what they have done for you, your parents, apart from so many favors that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given you, one of the biggest favors and the grandest and the greatest of favors He has given you is that He has given you the influence and the existence of a mother and a father in your life. Without them, you are nothing. And then Imam says, you can't thank your mother. There is no way that you will be able to thank your mother. So now I ask Imam Zain al-Abidin, my Mawla, how do I thank my mother? And so when you go to Sahifa Sajjadiyah, dua number 24, I recommend each and every one of us to read this dua. Dua number 24 is a special dua when child or children recite for their parents. In this particular dua, there are two extracts that I have selected to share with you to be able to drive my point forward. My Lord, my Mawla says, I cannot thank my mother. And it is true, my fellow brothers and sisters, a woman who spent her entire life in sacrifice for me, how will I be able to thank her? The father who gave everything in his life to be able to bring me to what I am, how am I going to thank them? Ya Allah, I can't thank them. There is no way for me to be able to express gratitude to my parents, for it will never be enough for me to be able to do that. But Imam Zain al-Abidin gives us a way out. He says, say to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, my Lord, I cannot thank my parents. Allahumma shkur lahuma tarbiyati. My Lord, I can't do it, but I am asking you to thank them on my behalf. You, if you thank them on my behalf, it will have more value, for I have no possibility of thanking my parents. Allahumma shkur lahuma tarbiyati wa athibhuma ala takrimati, and honor my parents for my tarbiyah. Honor them and reward them for honoring me and giving me that particular tarbiyah. Then Imam says, in your dua, say to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, وَحْفِظْ لَهُمَا مَا حَفِظَاهُ مِنِّي فِي صِغَرِي. Guard them as they guarded me when I was a child. I cannot thank them. You help me thanking my parents. Allahumma, say this dua for those whose parents are alive and those whose parents are no more. Say this particular dua. Allahumma la tansini dhikrahuma fi adbari salawati. Oh Allah, make me not forget them in my daily prayers. Let me mention them all the time in my daily prayers. Let me not fail to remember them in my daily prayers. وَفِي أَنَمْ مِنْ آنَاءِ لَيْلِي, and never should I forget them at night. وَفِي كُلِّ سَاعَةٍ مِنْ سَاعَاتِ نَهَارِ, and let me not forget them during every moment of my life. My Lord, I can't thank them. My Lord, you thank them on my behalf. How do you think? It is not easy to lose a parent. It is not easy. And just as a passing comment, many a times we live in a Western culture, and the Western culture has its own culture. The son or the daughter leaves home, and they then meet their parents either once a week, or if they are very lucky, it's once a week. If they are a bit lucky, then once a month. Otherwise, they meet their parents' past. Some of them are in old people's homes. Some of them are lonely at home, sitting, waiting for the children to come and speak to them. When I'm dead, this is a beautiful thing, when I'm dead, your tears will flow. A poem in English. It says, when I am dead, your tears will flow. But I won't know. Cry with me now. When I am dead, your tears will flow, but I won't know. So please cry with me now. You will send flowers, but I won't see. Send them now. Send these flowers now. You will say words of praise for me after I am gone, but I won't hear. Praise me now instead. You will forget my faults and probably say, I forgive my dad or my mom or whoever. You will forget my faults, but I won't know. Forgive them now. Forget them now. You will miss me. When I am gone, you will miss me then, but I won't feel it. Miss me now. You will wish you could have spent more time with me. That is what you will wish after I am gone. You will wish you could have spent more time with me. Spend it now, so that I can appreciate it. My fellow brothers and sisters, what a blessing of Allah. For those whose parents are alive, or for those whose parents are no more, we cannot not express gratitude to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for this wonderful facility for those who He has shared His name of Rabb with. رب ارحمهما كما ربياني ربنا اغفر لي ولوالدي رب أوزعني أن أشكر نعمتك التي أنعمت علي. My Lord, inspire me to thank you for the favors you have bestowed upon me. رب أوزعني أن أشكر نعمتك التي أنعمت علي وعلى والدي. And the favors that you have granted or bestowed upon my parents. Let us thank them. Thanking by words is not enough. Serving the parents is the beginning, and then praying to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He should thank them, because I have no ability to thank them. In Medina, there was a young blessed lady, traumatized by the idea of losing her father. Her name was Fatima. Her name was Zahra. She had a father who called her Abiha. She had a father who said, Fatimatu bid'atun minni. Fatima is part of me. There is a relationship between a father and a daughter in Madinatul Munawwara. Do you remember on the 28th of Safar in Medina, when the father and the daughter was in a room in her chambers, and there was a knock on the door that traumatized Zahra? Do you remember that evening? And she started to weep and cry. And she said, who is at the door? When she asked her father said to her, Fatima, this is someone who does not seek permission to enter the house. Fatima, this is the honor of your door that they are seeking permission. But Fatima, time has come that I have to depart from this world. Moment came when the Holy Prophet of Islam was no more. And Zahra missed her father so much. She cried so much. She used to go to the grave. She used to sit by the grave of her father. And she used to say, Baba, lastu abki lima yusna bi. Baba, I am not crying for what befell on me. Walakin abki li firaqika ya Rasulullah. I am crying because I miss you so much, my father. I'm crying because I miss you so much. Life without you is unbearable. That was the woman who used to go by the grave of her father, sit down there and cry and say, Baba, subbat alayya masaib. لو أنها صبت على الأيام سرنا ليالي. Baba, calamities befell upon me. Had they befallen upon the night, they would have turned it, they would have fallen into the day, it would have turned into a pitch dark night. صبت علي مصائب لو أنها صبت على الأيام سرنا ليالي. This was the grandmother Then there is a granddaughter in Sham whose name is Sakina. Whose name is Sakina. The relationship between Imam Hussein and Sakina bint Hussein is known by all of you. But I want to take you to Sham on that fateful night, on the night in which the head of Imam Hussein was brought before Sakina. She was expecting to see her father. Instead, the head was brought to Janab Sakina. All I want to narrate to you is, I want you to imagine a 4-year-old child inside the prison, having just dreamt about her father. The head of Imam Hussein is brought before her. She says, when she sees the head, she says, Ya Bata, Baba, man alladhi khattabaka bidima'ik. Baba, who has painted your face with blood, Baba. Ya Bata, man alladhi qata'a waridak. Baba, who has cut your jugular vein, Baba. Baba, who has cut your jugular vein. يا أبتاه من الذي أيتمني في صغر سني. Baba, who has made Sakina an orphan while I am still a child. يا أبتاه من بقي بعدك نرجوه. Baba, Baba, oh my Baba, who is after you, to whom I can refer after you have gone. يا أبتاه, oh Baba, من اليتيمة حتى تكبر. Baba, who will be for this yatima until she grows up. Then the words of history tell us something which breaks the heart. It says, history says, ثم أنها وضعت فمها على فمي وعلى وجهي وعلى فمه الشريف. History says, then this little child took her lips and placed it on the lips of her father. ثم أنها وضعت فمها على فمه الشريف. She took the head of her father, she put her lips on the lips of her father. وبكت بكاء شديدا. And she cried an intense cry حتى غشي عليها, until she fell unconscious. فلما حركوها, and when they came and realized, they came and shook her to wake her up. فإذا هي فارقت روحها. They realized she was gone.
سيعلم الذين ظلموا أي منقلب ينقلبون. إنا لله وإنا إليه راجعون. اللهم ادخل على أهل القبور السرور. اللهم أغني كل فقير. اللهم أشبع كل جائع. اللهم اكس كل عريان. اللهم اقض دين كل مدين. اللهم فرج عن كل مكروب. اللهم رد كل غريب. اللهم فك كل أسير. اللهم أصلح كل فاسد من أمور المسلمين. اللهم اشف كل مريض. اللهم سد فقرنا بغناك. اللهم غير سوء حالنا بحسن حالك. اللهم اقض عنا الدين واغننا من الفقر. إنك على كل شيء قدير. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. I pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, for the sake of Muhammad and Ali Muhammad alayhim afdalu salatu wassalam, Ya Allah, forgive our sins. Ya Allah, grant us the tawfiq to be able to serve our parents. Ya Allah, grant us tawfiq to be able to pray for our parents. Ya Allah, grant us the tawfiq to be able to follow the footsteps of Muhammad and Ali Muhammad alayhim salam. Ya Allah, forgive our sins. Ya Allah, cure those, give shifa to those who are unwell. Ya Allah, those who have asked us to pray for them, Ya Allah, grant their wishes for them. Hasten the reappearance of the 12th Imam alayhi salam. Upon his reappearance, Ya Allah, grant us the tawfiq to be from amongst the Ansar and the Awan of Imam alayhi salam. For the thawab of those for whose marhumin this majlis has been kept, Ya Allah, we pray to you to grant them Jannah, to grant them a place within the vicinity of the Ahlul Bayt alayhi salatu wasalam. Ya Allah, forgive their sins. Ya Allah, illuminate their graves. Ya Allah, forgive everything that they have done in this world and receive them in your mercy. May I request for them and for all the marhumeen, 1 Surah Al-Fatiha and 3 times Surah Al-Ikhlas. Al-Fatiha.